Hello and welcome to Me and You and Nancy Drew, a podcast in which I, Colleen,
and I, Megan,
are going through the Nancy Drew-niverse one book or episode or game at a time. Today we read book 8 in the classic 50s set, although I think now we're in the 60s.
We are in the 60s.
This one's called Nancy's Mysterious Letter, and it was published in 1968.
Yes.
What did you think of this one?
I did not like it as much as the clue in the diary. It's still a pretty decent one.
The clue in the diary was just so good. Everyone was like perfectly themselves of Nancy and George and Bess and Ned and Hannah. And I was like, this one's fine.
This one's fine.
But it's not as perfect as the last one. But that's okay. That's okay. Still lots to love about this one. There once was a limerick recap.
We'll start with our limerick, our poem that we wrote this week about this book. I will go first with my limerick.
All right, take it away.
And as a reminder, our poem is supposed to summarize the novel as best we can.
Yes.
But sometimes it doesn't.
That's okay. We only have 5 lines.
Yes. There once was a bag of stolen mail. Because of it, Nancy had quite a tale. Another Nancy they found. To marriage she was bound. But they stopped the plot, so she got no veil.
Excellent. Very good. All right, here's mine.
Oh boy, I'm excited.
It's interesting. Old Edgar had gone a bit funny, so he promised each lady a honey. There's a new Nancy Drew, leaves Shakespearean clues, and old Nancy returns all the money.
I love that. Oh, that was great.
Thank you.
I loved it.
I had to pick whether I was going to say old Edgar or old Nixon, because his name is Edgar Nixon.
Edgar Nixon.
30-second recap.
And now we will attempt to give a 30-second summary with slightly more detail than our poems.
But
maybe
not.
Not
Cover everything. I've got this.
Yeah.
No problem at all.
All right. So your 30 seconds starts now.
Okay, so the mail carrier is like 6 weeks away from retirement, and so he almost passes out, and Nancy invites him in for cocoa, and then all the mail that he had gets stolen by his half-brother, and there was money in there for Mr. Drew, and there was also a letter for Nancy Drew, but it actually isn't for her. There's a British Nancy Drew who's got this inheritance, and so Nancy tries to track her down, but then Carson and Nancy get off the case because someone totally already found her, and this guy who stole the money ran a Lonely Hearts Club and did crimes. Bye!
You got it.
I don't feel that I needed to say goodbye, but I did.
But goodbye. Goodbye. That is how we indicate the end.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
All right, are you ready? Get what I missed.
We'll see. All right.
Ready, set, go.
So the mail gets stolen from Nancy's house from the mail carrier while he's drinking hot chocolate by his half-brother. And there are lots of different monies all involved that he's been stealing and taking all this money. Mm-hmm. He's got Carson Drew's money, and now he's got this letter about a different Nancy Drew who's inheriting all this money. She's British. And they try and track her down, and also they go to Emerson College. Yeah. And at Emerson College, other Nancy Drew happens to be about to coach a Shakespearean play, but she never makes it, and she doesn't get married, and they meet her at the airport and stop it.
Good job. Also, yeah, they did say she coached the play, like, a lot. That's not directed? Did you mean directed?
I think that's what they meant.
Or I guess like an acting coach, but they were like, without her, we can't do the play.
Our coach isn't here.
Also, it was the day before the play that they were like, well, without the director, we can't do it. I'm like, the day before the play, you should be good.
You should be good.
You should already be fine without the director helping, or the coach helping you.
Yes, but instead they performed a different play.
They just picked a different play, which was a choice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I wonder, was the guy saying it, sporty guy, does he think all people in charge of a college event are coaches?
Maybe.
Maybe that's...
Like when I had an interview and a second interview, I call it a callback.
Incredible.
Because, the way we apply...
Yeah, you audition for a job and then you got a callback.
You get a callback.
Incredible. The cast list posted
yet? The cast list. There was a lot going on in this book, and yet not a lot happened. There was a lot of investigating.
Yes, there's a lot of calling everyone on this list.
Yes.
Or visiting everyone on this list, but mostly calling. She even points out, wow, our phone bill's going to be really high. Anyway, time to call 30 more people.
Yep.
With the last name Wilson. Something I did like overall about this book is it reminded me of the games where she's doing an errand for herself and finds a clue there. So her necklace is broken. She goes to the jeweler and she gets like 2 clues while she's there. And I'm like, that is peak PC Nancy Drew.
Yes, I actually feel like there were a few different moments in this where she was doing something completely different.
Like for herself.
For herself, or going on a date with Ned at his fraternity, and coincidentally, the mystery is also there.
So weird.
And the people that she is looking for are also there. So
yeah, no one's seen the other Nancy Drew in years and years and years, and she's at Emerson College where Ned goes.
Yep. Just
Also,
so happens.
Scandalous. Nancy, Bess, and George stayed a weekend in the frat house?
Yes, in the girls' room.
Right. I got it packed for the weekend for Emerson College. I said, ooh, scandal. And then I said, now she's probably going to stay in like a sorority house or like a guest house or something. No, it's in the frat house. It's scandalous.
I know. She must really like Ned.
She must. This is his second book. Or third if you count the one time he was accidentally mentioned in Shadow Ranch where she starts knitting a sweater for her dad and then ends with, I hope Ned doesn't need this sweater anytime soon. And we're like, who?
She knew in the future.
She knew.
He was coming.
She just got her dad's name wrong. She's like, Dad, Ned. Dad is so hard to spell. I get distracted. Cliffhanger.
So what was your favorite cliffhanger this week?
There were a lot of really good ones,
There
but
were.
I think my favorite is at the end of chapter 4. Some random woman is at their door. They let her in for no reason, and she goes, "You're Nancy Drew, ain't ya? You're the one I'm looking for." With that, her fist shot out, and she tried to hit Nancy.
Yes, that
Simply
was
don't open the door.
Amazing. Well, she just like pushed her way in. She's in the living room.
Yeah, like they didn't actually invite her in. She just decided. She walks in. She's mad that Nancy Drew exists, and then
Apparently.
tries to punch her.
Yes.
And then Nancy dodges it swiftly and grabs her arm, and like I imagine she's putting her in like a lock with the arm behind her back. It doesn't say that, but I'm imagining that.
Yes.
Because a stranger just walked in and tried to assault her in her house.
Ridiculous.
What was
It
yours?
did make me want to keep reading. Because,
Oh yeah, like
you know,
excuse me, she got slapped in the last book. Now they're trying to punch her.
I know. Okay, so my favorite cliffhanger was at the end of chapter 15, so nearer the end. It's when they're at Emerson College. So at this part,
Yes.
Ned is, I guess, a football player.
Yeah, his toe is in the newspaper
His toe is in the newspaper.
because it's so good at kicking.
So they're watching the game, which is very detailed. This is the most detailed part of the book is how the football
so
game
bored.
goes. Same, though.
Gameplay.
I'm just not a sports person. I'm sorry.
No, well, it's just that I don't have any investment because the team they're playing against is named State U.
State you.
If you don't want to specify what state we're in, then don't name the other team. You could even say the other team each time, or the opposing team. Like, there's
Yeah.
you don't have to say State U.
State you. So Ned gets like slammed into. Nancy says, "Oh dear, I hope nothing has happened to him," she said to Marion. He was limping a little. Suddenly, Nancy's hand flew to her mouth as she stifled a shriek. Oh no! Ned Nickerson had collapsed on the green turf.
That was a good cliffhanger.
I know. I was like,
now Ned's getting hurt.
I
But it's
know.
not for the mystery, because I would feel worse if he got dragged into the mystery and then
Of
instantly got-
course.
This
Yes.
is his own business.
This is
Now,
his
does he have
choices.
CTE? We don't know. But he did. He was looking woozy. They're like, it's fine. He gets back on the field, and then he just collapses. I'm like, Ned, what the heck?
Yep. And then afterwards, he's like, I'm totally fine. Let's go do this mystery. I just got the wind knocked out of me. I'm fine.
It's fine. He also does like the winning kick. He, like,
Yes, he
argues
comes
with his
back.
coach at like the clutch moment of the game. They're about to lose. There's like a minute left or whatever, and you see him talk to his coach hurriedly, put on his helmet, go make a kick, and they win. It's a miracle. They make a lot of weird onomatopoeia sounds. Just weird string of vowels that I have never seen in a book.
Yeah.
E-E-H, exclamation point, Y-E-E-H. Yee!
Yeah, yay!
This is
Marion
Marion.
exclaimed, jumping up and down and waving her arms wildly.
I'm so happy for Marion. She's
having a
lot
great
going
time.
on. Yeah, I guess it's homecoming weekend. They never say homecoming, but it's like the big football game and there's a dance, so I'm assuming it's like homecoming.
Must be.
Yeah.
Must be.
They also have church service on campus, and there's a special one for all the visitors that are there for homecoming.
Which I have experienced that. I've been there.
I have not.
I've been there.
Yeah, I worked at a church in college, but like it wasn't, yes, everyone comes here. Do you want to explain who Marion is?
Sure. So there's this other Nancy Drew who's British, and she used to nanny for a rich family from New York City called the Wilsons, and that is one of Nancy's leads to finding this other Nancy Drew, Nancy Smith Drew. And she calls the Wilsons, and they're like, haven't heard from her in like 8 years. We get
Because our
Christmas
kid grew up.
And then she just happens to run into the girl that Nancy Smith Drew used to nanny for at Emerson College. And
she's like girlfriends with Ned's friend. Frank, not Frank Hardy. Don't get excited, because I did briefly. His name is Frank Doolittle. We'll probably not hear from him again, and that's okay.
Never. And we probably won't hear from Marion Wilson.
Well, no, she's only relevant to this story.
Yes. She helps, like, in the mystery, because she
can, like, ID her.
Yeah, she knows who Nancy Smith Drew is. And so she's like, oh, I could have sworn I saw her.
Even though she said she quit coaching the play.
I just saw her in the back of the auditorium. Let's go look for her. So Marion is there in order to be the person who can actually identify correctly who Nancy Smith Drew is. And everyone...
she quit because Edgar Nixon, the half-brother of the mail carrier, tries to steal her away because he knows, because he stole the mail, that this girl's going to inherit something. So he's marrying her, and then he will get the money from her.
Yes.
She does not know.
She doesn't even know that she's set to inherit. He only knows because he stole the mail and found the mail.
Now, here's my thing. Because they got taken off the case because someone claimed that they found her, and they weren't sure if it was the real her. And Nancy's like, well, how could anyone know that? I'm like, because you told everyone. You told everyone this girl's business. Like, I'm looking for Nancy Smith Drew because she's coming into a lot of money. You told, like, 8 people. Like, Nancy, what the heck?
Why are you sharing all of the details and then being confused about why everybody knows all the details? And I completely understand. I am also an oversharer.
Sure.
Like,
but you're
I
not
get
a private detective.
I am not. That is
our
major difference. So
and this whole book, there's a lot of, like, talk about the laws around privacy of mail.
Yes.
Which is very entertaining to me. But then beyond that, Nancy's sharing this girl's business.
Yeah, she has not even met this other Nancy Drew.
Met her.
But I understand. She is trying to be able to almost put out feelers so that she can find this Nancy Drew.
Like, hey, I'm looking for her for a good reason.
Exactly.
Not like we're trying to track her down. But then everyone's like, well, I could have some money, perhaps. Thoughts?
Right? Exactly.
Nancy.
Nancy. And you I don't know. What is this? Book 8?
This is book 8. She should know a little better by this point.
She should know better by this point.
Especially because, like, there's mistaken identity and stuff in another book.
Yes.
Where
someone's dressed up as her.
And using her, like, charge plate and stuff.
Yeah.
And so she should understand, hey, this girl with my name... Whatever. It's fine. I'm not mad at her. I just think she should do better next time.
Exactly. We all have to learn from our mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Ship of the Week.
This week for Ship of the Week, I have chosen to do an anti-ship.
Ooh.
Some people, I think, who are together, who should not be any longer.
All right, enlighten me.
This is Joe Skeets and his wife, Mrs. Skeets.
I love that the wives don't get names. I think that's nice.
Sure. Yeah.
Like when you're introduced, she talks about later, like, Mr. and Mrs. Edgar Nixon. I'm like, that's, it makes me so mad when you don't. Okay, anyway.
Oh, I understand.
Okay.
Oh, I understand. So... who are these people? Miss Skeets, we've already talked about. She is the one who shows up at the door and attempts to punch Nancy Drew in the face. The reason being that Nancy's house is where the mail was stolen from, and she was waiting for a letter from her husband's sister that would have $10 in it. And how dare she allow the mailman to come in.
Which is against mail law. And that was my other cliffhanger, is that the people were like, you've committed a serious crime.
You've committed a crime inviting the mail carrier into your home.
Literally?
So Miss Skeets is very angry. And she reminds me of a lot of people nowadays because she comes in like screaming and yelling about how the young people don't respect the old folks anymore and just wait till you're my age, and just talks very condescendingly down to Nancy. And she's like, here's my address because I know you're going to come to my house with my $10 because you owe me specifically, because you are the reason that my $10 is gone. And Nancy tries to is like, okay, bye, and shuts the door in her face. Then she decides to actually go to Miss Skeets' house, and I can't remember why.
Because Miss Skeets goes, you're like every other Nancy Drew, and Nancy's like, what do you mean?
Oh, she is looking for the second Nancy Drew, so she's like, wait, you know another one? And she's like, don't worry about it.
I am worried.
Turns out it's because they were once roommates.
Oh my God, they were roommates.
Like a decade ago, and that's how she knows.
And she's like, every Nancy Drew is the same. That can't be true.
That can't be true.
This one was British. That's like her main thing.
And an actress.
You're right. And I was worried that meant she was the villain, because last time it was like, they can change their don't let the men know we can shape shift. They're going to tell the church. And all actors, you can't trust them.
Yep. Oh, all this to be said, when she goes to the Skeets'
I love Joe Skeets.
And I do too, hence why this is an anti-ship. Joe Skeets is a former sailor living in the middle of, they're somewhere in the Midwest. He says that his wife made the move because he kept going to sea too many times.
So we moved to the middle of nowhere where there's no sea.
But their house is decorated still like they live on the beach.
Oh, yeah. There's like a dried starfish on the wall.
Yes, a broken but polished sextant.
Oh, good.
He still talks as if he is...
Oh my
a
God.
sailor.
He's the most sea dog guy I've ever met. I love him. I haven't met him.
He says, I expect she just rode around to the Chandler for some supplies, and most likely she'll be back by 6 bells.
You don't have to talk like that.
Nancy,
You live in probably Illinois.
Yeah, and he says, I.
Yeah,
and so have I. And so
Heave your anchor, lass, instead of sit down. Also on the walls is Chekhov's lethal-looking spear that never came back, but I was certain. Nope.
Nah, that's just the decorations. But anyway, why are you going to the house of the woman who came into your house to punch you in the face and demand $10?
She gives her $10 in exchange for, like, info on the other Nancy Drew. But Joe also has already told her a lot of info, and she's like, why would you talk to her? I was selling this information. You stink.
Yeah, he seems like a really fun guy. And he's basically a pirate in the Midwest.
So cute.
And I don't think that Miss Skeets deserves him.
In fact, he roars that he's not going to let her pay because it's not her fault that the money was gone or was stolen.
They seem to have such different morals. They have such different interests. I just don't know if it's the best pairing.
I agree. I marked how she introduces herself. She's like, Nancy's like, who are you? Because she pushed her way into the house. She goes, I am Mrs. Skeets, and now that you've heard it, you'll never forget it. Great. Thanks, ma'am.
Yeah. Oh, and she also says, I don't approve of young girls having cars. True. There are too many accidents as it is.
And if you saw that old movie that my dad taped for me of Nancy Drew just fully running into buildings, you would agree. But this Nancy, a lot of stuff happens to her cars, but it's not usually her fault.
Not usually, yeah. So that is my ship of the week.
Your anti-ship. I agree. I agree. I am going to repeat because I really like Ned and Nancy in this book.
Yes.
So we already saw Ned going along with Nancy's hobbies and interests and detectiving, but now we have not seen a whit of her interested in any sport, but she's having the time of her life at this game. She's worried when he gets hurt, but she's like, this is so much fun. And then when he does like the winning kick, it's like, Ned did it. Nancy screamed, he won the game. She is so excited for him. We have heard nothing about her liking any sport at all.
Or any of the things she's gone to do with any of the
They've
guys.
all been artsy.
Yeah.
They've all been like, we went to see a play.
It's nice to see her interested.
Like,
really because she's so interested in Ned. She's interested in what he's doing.
She, like, made some phone calls, was like, but I can't be late for the game. This is really important to Ned. I'll put this aside, and then I'll get back to it later. Like, that was really cute. And then later, somebody was like, are you guys detectives? And people were laughing, and Ned goes, well, I'm not, but Nancy Drew is the best girl detective in the whole world. Very cute.
He's only done one case with her.
Yeah,
well, one and a half.
She's the best in the whole world.
Agreed.
The qualifier girl detective, but it's also the 60s. But, like, she's the best in the whole world, and I love her, and she's doing so good. I just love Ned and Nancy, and I can't wait to see more of them.
Me too. That would have been my second choice.
Yeah, but I think your anti-ship is so valid.
Cooking corner.
My favorite meal for this one is at the very end. They're exhausted. They've driven all the way back from Emerson College, which is a 2-hour drive. It's later than they intended. So Bess and George go home with Nancy just so that they don't have to go in the dark. Both Mr. Drew and Mrs. Gruen welcome in the extra girls, and Hannah had prepared some tasty chicken and lettuce sandwiches, a large bowl of fresh cut up fruit, and a whole chocolate cake.
Yes.
Absolutely. That sounds delightful.
Speaking of Hannah Gruen.
I love her.
She killed it this book.
She
with
did.
Her every meal, because any of the times they talked about eating, like I'm sure they ate when they were at the fraternity house.
Sure.
Hopefully. They don't talk about it.
Just Doritos if it's like the fraternity houses I've been.
This book took place over the course of at least a week. They go to church twice.
They do, you're right.
So 2 Sundays.
What if they go to Wednesday church?
They could. I did. I used to at college. Over the course of a week, we hear all these things that Hannah's making from scratch.
Yes.
She's got the famous hot cocoa. Hannah's famous hot cocoa.
I always think of that for these.
And that's what
and it was like the first page. She's like, "We're gonna make some hot cocoa. It's really windy. You're an old mail carrier, and it's perfect."
And there's homemade cookies with the hot cocoa. But when the hot cocoa popped up, I remember when we were planning this podcast that you said we want to have Cooking Corner because Hannah's always making things like hot chocolate and cookies, and here it was. Hot chocolate and homemade cookies.
She's perfect.
She made homemade stew.
Yes. Nancy's always taking stew in jars to people.
To jars,
which,
yeah.
I mean, Tupperware were a thing, right? Or were they?
I don't know.
I don't know either. She's always taking soup in jars to people.
Yeah,
which
and actually
feels very weird.
Yeah, there's homemade stew and there's vegetable soup in a jar. We've got a whole roast beef dinner, tomatoes and cottage cheese and steak. Which, a tomato and cottage cheese only salad.
Specifically, yeah. She was like a salad made of tomatoes and cottage cheese. I'm like,
that's it?
That's not salad, I don't think.
I've put cottage cheese on my salad before.
Sure. And tomatoes on my salad. Absolutely.
And tomatoes. But
I just think that on their own, they're not a salad.
Yeah, I get maybe we're going for something a little bit like Mediterranean Italian.
Yeah,
like
similar to a caprese salad.
Yeah, except cottage cheese instead of mozzarella.
Yeah, which
I don't know.
So much worse.
It was the 60s.
Yeah, apparently I used to eat cottage cheese by the handful. I could not do that. Literally by the handful.
Well, I'm lactose intolerant now, so
no.
either.
By the way, chemist Earl Tupper invented lightweight, non-breakable plastic containers inspired by the seal-type design of paint cans in 1946. So they could have had
Tupperware. But you know what?
Jars.
She's trying to improve the environment. We don't need that plastic. Yeah. We don't need those microplastics in our soup.
This is like a Bob Evans trying to be bougie vibe of like, we're doing it in mason jars.
Yes, exactly.
Also, Hannah Gruen is vigorously whipping potatoes in a pot while interrogating Nancy about her adventures. I love it. She did a great job this book.
And it took place in November, so this was a lot of like
cozy,
very
warm foods.
Yeah, cozy, warm foods.
Oh, good catch. Because, yeah, the reason they invite the mailman in is there's this big November storm, and she's like, I'll give you a ride. And he's like, I literally have to stop at every house. She's like, you know what? That's fair.
I don't know if I want to join you visiting every single house in the snowstorm. Yeah. However, let's warm you up.
Let's warm you up with an illegal invite into the house. You're not allowed to invite them in while they're on duty. And she goes, well, it's fine. He didn't bring the mail in. And he goes, that's worse. That's how it got stolen. And she's like, if you would look, he has passed out. He's 6 weeks from retirement. I love that Nancy knows that about the local mail carrier. Yeah. She's like, I have it on the calendar.
There. You can do it.
And then he passed out. It was a whole thing.
What's his name? Ira Nixon?
Ira Nixon. Fashion police.
All right. The first thing I want to talk about for Fashion police is Edgar Nixon's outfit.
Yep.
This is his identifier. Mm-hmm. And the first time we are introduced to what his outfit is in the words of Little Tommy.
I love Little Tommy. He's doing so great. He's like a 5-year-old. I can't believe. Yes. When did you stop riding a trike? I feel like he's a little old for trike.
I do feel like he's a little old for trike.
But he's also a little young for the eloquence that he displays. So hard to say what age he really is.
Yes, exactly.
This author's never met a child. And that's okay.
But we are told that he is wearing a yellow coat and a yellow hat, which immediately, of course, I thought Curious George.
Obviously, yes.
That is the first connection.
Did he poach a monkey on his way here that is actually an ape that they never addressed this fact?
Yes. Did he? No.
A monkey was mentioned by Sailor Joe. A monkey was gifted by Sailor Joe to somebody. Oh. Did you notice this?
No.
Like, I brought back a monkey as a gift for somebody. Absolutely just poaching.
Oof.
That's fine.
Oof.
But it wasn't the man in the yellow hat.
It wasn't the man in the yellow hat or the yellow coat. And as we find out when Nancy is like, according to the little boy, there is a man in a yellow coat and a yellow hat with a yellow car.
I trust this boy implicitly.
A lot of yellow. Mm-hmm. And that is when Ira faints. He's
yes.
like, oh no.
I'm afraid of the color yellow.
When he comes to, he's like, no. Well, my brother, my half-brother, he's kind of a mess. He wears a camel coat and a camel hat. And then it turns out that the car was not yellow, it was tan.
Okay, so this boy is a bad detective.
Yeah, it's not yellow.
He's not helpful.
None of it is yellow.
Although he did remember 4 characters of the license plate.
And he made the connection because 2 of those letters were his name, T and J. He says, I am T and J, and there's 1 and 2, and I know those numbers.
Like, he's done it.
So, while he was not correct with his color identification, it was not yellow.
Yellow's not
tan. That inspired me to, of course, look up what a camel hair coat looks like.
Yeah, is it yellow?
It is not yellow. It's tan. It's the color of a camel.
So Tommy's good on numbers and letters, needs to work on colors.
Yes.
Not his strongest suit, but it was at least enough of an identifier that the mailman passed out about it. Yeah, that's not yellow.
That is not yellow.
It's yellowish.
It's yellowish. This is like a pure camel hair vintage coat.
Amazing.
But they make a lot of coats this color now
Yes.
as well, and they are called like camel coat.
Gotcha.
So you
It's
can
like
buy a camel coat. They're
almost
not
wearing that as a sweater.
Actually, yeah, this is a camel colored cardigan I'm
which is
wearing
not
right here.
yellow. It is brown.
It is not yellow. It is a light
It is a light
brown,
brown.
also known as tan.
Yes. We have words for this that aren't yellow. Well, he's only learned like the first 3 colors. Yellow,
And to
blue,
be
and
fair,
red.
sometimes we call people with this color hair like blonde.
That's
or She has
true.
yellow hair. Like, it's not yellow. You know, maybe this is the education he's received as well of like
Yeah.
hair colors, or, you know, people with red hair often do not actually have red
Good
hair.
point.
It's
Orangish or brownish.
orangish brownish.
Yeah.
But we call that red. So I guess hair colors are tough, and this is a camel hair coat.
That's true.
So,
Okay.
you know,
So Tommy did earn his detective badge. He also
He did.
later just gave her a random shoe he found, which turned out to not be. Did we ever get conclusion on? Yep, he just brought her just a gross shoe that he found. He's like, "Do I get a detective badge now?" Actually, I think
that
this is-
sounds like being at recess. Let's be real.
Yeah, I found this. It's probably a clue. They were digging for dinosaur bones at recess yesterday.
Yeah,
There's
see?
so many in Ohio.
I'm sure. Yep.
Yup.
So that was my main thing, because the camel coat and
Yes.
the camel hat comes up quite a lot, because that's our identifier of.
Yes.
And actually, another man wearing a camel coat and a camel hat is mistaken for.
because who else would be wearing that?
Yeah, and he's like, well, that's the second time I've been mistaken for this other man.
Now, I do like this, though, because it's a much better identifier than the crinkly-eared man from before. Of like, this
True.
is something that is not, like, a weird insult about their personal appearance that they can't change.
Yeah,
right?
but I was surprised that because that is his identifier, he didn't change it at all.
Right. Nancy pointed out that maybe he couldn't afford, because winter coats are expensive.
True.
But also he has everybody's money. He's running this, I don't know if we talked about this outside of the limericks. He's running this Lonely Hearts scam. And so, like, people write in and mail him installments of 25 loose dollars. Like, people are like, people mail money still? That's a bad idea. And even in the last book, it was money orders, and that still got stolen and was a problem.
Don't send
just loose money.
Don't send money through the mail,
No.
friends.
Kind of ever?
Ever.
Kind of ever.
Yeah.
And then he never got anybody their
husbands.
Their husbands or wives, Nancy said generously.
True.
Meaning that men could apply to this, of course. I liked Nancy when she went to the jewelry store for her own thing.
Yes.
She's gets some clues, and then he's like, well, our Christmas jewelry is coming into stock. He goes, oh, yes, I saw this thing I'd like to buy for my father. Can you order these cufflinks for my dad? And the clue is that a ring was bought for a Nancy Drew. And he goes, well, how's that ring treating you? And she goes, I'm sorry?
He thinks that he's spoiling
He's
a
like,
proposal.
Oh, no. Which he could have looked at her hands and seen if there was an engagement ring there, but whatever. You know, maybe it's his first day on the job.
Doesn't seem like it, but anyway.
He's talking about Mr. Nixon bought a pair of cufflinks that were kind of flashy, but he seemed to like them. They were bright red and had a black star in the center, and they do become an identifier later. But out loud, she goes, I don't think I'd care for them myself. Like, so unnecessary.
Sometimes, Nancy, we can just say things in our head.
In our heads, and that is okay. Especially because this jeweler thinks you are this cufflink guy's fiance. Oh, do you want to talk about her dress?
Yes. So the only other real description we get about fashion is her pale blue evening gown that she's wearing to the not homecoming dance.
Yeah.
The unspecified dance following the football game.
Following the important football game.
The very important football game.
It's not homecoming, though.
So it's too long. And while just wearing her nylons, she goes to try and answer the door and trips and almost falls down the stairs and rips the dress.
But she doesn't get hurt.
She does not get hurt.
It was a close call. She ripped the dress, but she didn't rip herself, which is good.
Yes. And Hannah has to narrow the dress and change where the seam is in order to hide the rip. But she does wear the pale blue evening gown, and we see it in some of the picture-perfect illustrations.
Yeah. It's really cute. Especially when the reason she goes to the jewelry store, she needs the jewelry to match this. She calls it a costume, and I'm like, oh, is this dress up? I mean, I guess it is.
It is.
You're wearing
I
a
guess.
dress?
Yeah. You're only going to wear it once.
Yeah.
Probably-ish.
Oh, I can't believe you missed this really important fashion corner. So they pull up, and Bert and Dave, who I remember distinctly, and I love it because Dave is very theatrical and artsy, so he goes with Bess, and Bert is very sportsy, and so he goes with George. And I had always wanted it to be like Bert and Bess and Nancy and Ned, and then George gets somebody with it, maybe another George. Like, they should all line up with letters, but that's okay. And so Dave gazes at Bess fondly. He goes, you look stunning in that new suit. I like the fur collar. What is it, squirrel?
That was a great part.
George is like, yeah, she shot it on the way here. Absolutely. Yes, and. Bess is like, as a matter of fact, It's Mink. Withering her cousin with a look. Great. Love this banter.
Yes, amazing.
Is she wearing a suit? I couldn't find.
I don't think so.
Like, does it just mean outfit? In the way that costume can mean outfit?
Yeah, that's what, at least how I took it.
Because I don't think that's a suit girly.
No.
At all. Ever.
No.
George could pull off a suit.
Yes. In fact, they say she always wears tailored clothes.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the chapter.
Interesting. Much to consider. Yeah, good outfits. Picture perfect.
All right, we had some great choices for Picture Perfect this week, and we will definitely post some of them on our Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
So my first one is after the play, Marion is like, hey, that's Nancy Smith Drew over there. And they're like, better go get her. Mm-hmm. And so the two of them go off backstage into like the back area.
You're certainly not allowed, but okay.
Yeah, definitely not allowed. They can't find her. They go back into a dark office-y area, and then suddenly all the lights go off.
Because they're shutting down the building because nobody's supposed to be back where they are.
Well, but then they get locked in. Mm-hmm. So it does feel very purposefully trying to trap them to me. But it could also be the play is over, we are shutting down the theater and locking the doors.
Either are valid.
Yes.
Some of the times are very clearly Nixon is trying to get her or to trap her or to keep her away from them. This one, it could just be, you're not supposed to be back here. We didn't check back here because it's an office and it's like 10 at night.
And so the one doorway out, it has like a chicken wire covering over the glass.
Yeah, what?
And why I chose this picture is because the artist here, in order to show us that the room is very dark, they have cross-hatched every wall that you can see, every doorway, and they have cross-hatched the door. Mm-hmm. And so because the door is covered in chicken wire, it now looks like it is an entire room made of chicken wire that they are trapped in. As Nancy bangs on the chicken wire door in the chicken wire hallway next to the chicken wire wall. And it is captioned, "Let us out! We're trapped!" Nancy cried in the chicken wire room.
It does not say that.
No, I added that part.
This is a stylistic choice that I wouldn't choose. But
I would, yeah.
My favorite picture, they spend the entire first 5 or 6 chapters talking about old Ira Nixon. He's so feeble. He's about to retire. He can't handle the wind. Even Hannah Gruen, who's not young, is like, oh, he's so feeble. They keep saying feeble and old. In this picture, he's maybe 50. The healthiest 50. This is the normalest man you've ever met. The most able-bodied guy. And he's always fainting and he's worried and this is the most fine guy. He's extremely okay. There's not even a lot of stress lines. His eyebrows are up because the mail got stolen, but he's not pale, I don't think. The whole page is pale, but he doesn't look old or feeble. He looks so fine, so okay, so aggressively average. And they're like, this poor old man.
He's
man. So old. Please get him some cookies and some cocoa. Now, everyone deserves cookies and cocoa, absolutely. But he's fine.
And anyone could faint. But they do make a big deal about how old he is.
Exactly. When I have passed out, the many times I've passed out, no one said, wow, how old and feeble this 18-year-old juror with an undiagnosed anxiety disorder is. They're just like, oh, this is annoying. We're trying to have court. But it's fine. I don't know. I'm just saying. Sure.
I did want to add one more picture, and that is near the end. It is at the dance.
There's a bouncer at the dance, by the way.
Yes.
At the fraternity dance.
She goes back to the theater. I think they must be in adjacent buildings or connected buildings because someone at the dance calls her and is like, hey, there's some detectives here to talk to a Miss Nancy Drew.
Specifically, somebody asked the bouncer to get her. Bouncer doesn't know her. He asked the band guy, the guy who's directing the live music, to call. And it says there's a drum roll. They start a drum roll and say, could Nancy Drew come to the front? The police want to see you. What a weird thing to do. Ooh, you're in trouble.
But she's like, where are they? They're like, oh, over there.
Sure.
And she's like, all right. And so she goes to the darkened theater, and as she gets onto the stage, she has a sixth sense moment.
Oh, yeah.
And jumps out of the way just as the curtain comes falling, crashing. And so in this picture, looks like, I would describe a waterfall behind her.
Yes.
As she looks like a Barbie doll that is
She is. Her arms are exactly Barbie-ish.
And she's just tilting off the stage.
Not really jumping. It's
it's not
more
jumping.
passive in this picture.
It does say Nancy jumped forward just as the curtain crashed to the floor.
It says that with the words, but not with the picture.
It says that with the words, but she looks more like she is
just kind of fallen.
Yeah.
Also, the stage lights are on in this picture, even though it's a darkened room. Do you see that? They have little light things coming out
Oh,
of them.
yeah.
Someone didn't give the whole direction to the artist.
Yes.
Or the artist did not read the chapter, actually.
But you can see Nancy's beautiful pale blue evening gown.
You can, and the necklace.
And the pearl necklace. She is quite fetching.
Quite fetching as she jumps/falls out of the way, out of the waterfall/curtain. This is another thing that is very like the games, because stuff is always falling on her. There's so many, like, every time Nancy dies, you can do like an instant second chance button, which is great. You don't have to like start back over. But stuff's always falling on her. I will hear a sound that I don't recognize in the game, but I don't make her look up because you can't usually look up. It's a point and click, and then something falls on my head and I die. I'm like, well, okay, that's not my fault.
Blast from the past.
One of the first things, I just wrote down the quote, "Isn't it unusual to send money through the mail nowadays?" from chapter 2, because I also feel like in modern times, it is also unusual to send money through the mail nowadays.
It's
not
so
safe.
easy to steal. Even in the last book, the money orders got stolen, and I think checks can get stolen, and that, that's easier to fake and do stuff with. But like a 20, you just take that. There's like no record of anything.
Exactly.
Most of my blasts from the past for this book are just phrases that we don't use anymore. If this happened to me, I would feel so condescended to, and also misgendered because it's not about me. But Ned laughed. "That a girl," he said, patting Nancy's shoulder. He's almost a boyfriend. He's at minimum, a romantic interest. And he's patting me my shoulder and calling me that a girl. This is not going to work for me, but I think it's meant and received completely fine.
Yeah, that would feel very condescending.
They're also cheering lustily at the football game, which I think here is just with a lot of emotion.
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
gusto.
Yeah, because you'll see in like older stories, or a baby crying lustfully.
Yeah, and
lustily.
that's nothing. That doesn't
Yeah.
mean the same thing now, but it caught me off guard. I'm like, oh, okay. You're really excited about this football game. I don't tend to have these feelings at football games.
Mm-hmm. Also, they use smelling salts.
Oh, yeah!
When it's just more a story that we hear secondhand from Carson Drew.
Oh, yeah.
That one of his clients, Miss Quigley, she again sent money through the mail, even though he has repeatedly asked her to stop.
She's like an older client, too.
Yes,
like,
and it gets stolen, and she faints, and he's like, "We had to go get the smelling salts."
You know how it is. We keep them in the office.
Yes, and so I did look up smelling salts because I was like, I've never experienced smelling salts in my life, and I have fainted actually quite a lot because I am afraid of needles, and there have been a lot of needle-related things that I have had to go through, and I faint.
That's fair.
They've never given me smelling salts.
Aw.
Usually they just
Do you even keep them in your desk?
Nope. No,
you don't have smelling salts in the office?
Nope.
Okay.
But there were first aid kits that would come with smelling salts and the smelling...
Really?
Yes.
Where?
Not anymore. In the past,
Yes.
they would have first aid kits that would come with smelling salts.
Amazing.
And they have been used since ancient Roman times because Pliny the Elder talked
my
about
favorite scientist.
them. My favorite Pliny.
All the Plinies, he is one of them.
I had a picture of the smelling salts, also known as ammonia inhalants.
I knew that. Yes.
I did not. But you can see, and we can put this picture screenshot from Wikipedia on Patreon. But it's 2 capsules of smelling salts from a first aid kit. A thin inner glass tube contains alcohol and ammonia. The outer layer is cotton and netting. And you crush the glass.
Like a glow stick.
Yeah. And it fills everything, and you put the ammonia under. And then, of course, in the history section of this Wikipedia article, it stops at the Victorian era. Post then, there's not a lot of use. However, the Victorian era is pre-Nancy Drew books. So up until, I guess, Nancy Drew, we're still using smelling salts. But it's, I don't know, breathing in pure ammonia
It's great, and we love it. Don't do it.
yeah, it just does not sound safe.
No.
I would like to smell smelling salts at some point in my life because I would like, I don't know.
That sounds like you.
It does sound like me. I just want to know.
I just want to experience
I just
it.
want to experience it, but I don't want.
Like.
Yes. Oh, I want to faint and somebody use smelling salt
To revive you. I imagine it's not fun.
I would also imagine that, but I want to know.
Incredible. Back to Sailor Joe. I love almost everything about him except for the poaching. But
Yes.
probably everybody was doing it, but I don't love it. But not only did he poach this monkey, he got it from, quote, a Portuguese down in Brazil, unquote. A, we don't call people a whatever ethnicity or language. B, it would be a Brazilian
Yes.
down in Brazil. If anything, they speak Portuguese. They are not, nobody is a Portuguese. But okay, bud. He probably doesn't know better, but I was like, what a weird sentence. I think he bought it for Nancy Smith Drew.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh.
And then she moved away, and he gave the monkey to a man in exchange for a pair of boots. I can't believe you missed this. This is
I don't know how I missed that,
extremely jarring.
honestly. I was reading too fast.
Don't have time for monkeys and boots.
Yeah, whatever. We gotta get to the mystery.
We gotta.
But I do think, unfortunately, it was fairly normal back then to refer to people of different ethnicities
As a whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't.
Carson wanted to call overseas to England because Nancy gets involved in this mystery because there is a letter for her that gets stolen that is from England. The mail carrier tells her when he runs into her on the street, he's like, oh, by the way, there's a note in here from England for you. And she's like, what? I don't know anyone in England. So he remembers one word of who sent this letter.
Oh, yeah. She's like, please, could you remember anything about it? Which is objectively not something I want my mail carrier to do.
To be paying attention enough to my mail to know. But
know,
he does. It's a small town.
She's like,
different time.
You only know one word? Okay.
And so it's one of the names of this law firm.
He's like, it's coming from 3 different names. She's like, a law firm?
She gets a second letter being like, we are looking for Nancy Smith Drew. We don't think she's you, but you're the only Nancy Drew we can find contact info for. Please help us find the real Nancy Drew. Mm-hmm. Well, the real Nancy Drew in this case that we are looking for. And so Carson goes to call overseas, and he's like, they told me that the Atlantic lines would be tied up for the rest of the day. And it's just interesting that, now you wouldn't even need to use a phone to contact
people overseas.
People in England. Mm-hmm. Like, even if you wanted to speak to them voice to voice, you don't need the phone lines anymore. You can just use the internet. You can video call at this point.
You're going to be able to solve the whole mystery before I can even get on the phone with this guy because it's going to take so long to call England. And I understand why, because it is very far away. Like, that's normal.
It's always mind-boggling to me how fast technology has increased over just the last century because my parents were born before this book was published. And you're having issues calling England. But, I lived in England. It's crazy. Even just the technology, how much it changed from when I lived in London and had to get like a phone card to be able to call my friends back home. But it didn't matter how many other people were calling to and from across the Atlantic.
Well, from then to, I went to England and Italy and Germany for our honeymoon and just used our regular cell phones. I called my dad and it was like not a problem and there was no wait time and there was no extra. There was like a different phone plan temporarily for like a month. And it was normal.
Yeah, because it's only been like 50 years since
this book was published.
The amount that technology and just being able to contact people from so far away has changed is mind-boggling.
Right. I have 2 more blasts from the past, and one's not great. It's from the discussion with Sailor Joe, laughing uproariously. He was talking about how he used to love pearl diving, but he says, where I was brought up, us sailors meant washing dishes when we said pearl dive, and so someone just, like, kidnaps him to go pearl diving and dunks him in the water, and apparently he's never been able to swim, which I'm like, if your main thing is you're a sailor, whatever, none of my business. It is not my Brazilian forest. It is not my monkeys. But
clearly you've never watched One Piece.
I have not watched One Piece. But the way he describes being kidnapped, you note the word he used.
I did not.
He had been shanghaied. Thoughts?
Ooh.
Have you heard this before?
I've heard the word.
Yeah, I've heard it in a Nancy Drew game, actually. Danger on Deception Island. There's, like, secret tunnels in this cafe. The indigenous woman who runs the cafe is like, yeah, people got shanghaied all the time. I was like, I've never heard this. And it means kidnapped and pressed into service. Mm-hmm. And you guess it, it's racist.
I was going to guess it was racist.
It's racist.
I've heard the phrase. I was going to say, I've heard the phrase in, like, pirate books.
Yep.
Like, I feel like, I can't guarantee
it comes from you might get pressed into service and pirated or kidnapped or spirited away or whatever, not affiliated with Studio Ghibli, to, for example, Shanghai, China. And guess what?
What?
We don't use that anymore.
That does explain a lot.
Yes.
And
I just noticed it. I was like, now that I see it as an adult, I'm wondering if maybe we should have used any other word for the Nancy Drew game as well, because the game came out not in the 60s. Oh, well. I'm not but like, do better in future, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're always learning and growing.
Exactly. My other blast from the past is like, earlier I was giving Nancy some guff. I was giving her some crap because she was telling everybody Nancy Smith Drew's business. Sidebar, love that they're like, we need a different name. Smith.
Got
it. Yes, perfect. But then she's also getting everybody's business. She's calling like a Cape Cod type place to get the names and addresses of people that stayed there. Now, he's not able to access it because it's locked up and it's not online. So.
And he's just the winter caretaker.
He's just a winter caretaker. All the books are locked up. He would give it to her, but he can't. And it's not digitized records, of course. And she's calling the airport to figure out if this person bought a ticket. That's not your business. She's calling so many people and just getting, and the businesses are like, yeah, absolutely. Let me help you out with this.
Yeah.
And Nancy's doing it for a good reason, so it's fine that she has all this personal information, I guess. But A, weird that they're freely giving this out. B, love that the airline either has so few customers or whatever that this is so easy to check because, again, not digitized. They're not going to search up the last name with typing it in, so they have to, like, look at all their records, but I don't think a lot of people are there. C, my favorite part is she's driving to every gas station in River Heights to see if they recognize the picture that she took from Ira Nixon of his half-brother Edgar Nixon. Like, did you see him in his car? And every gas station is like, he must have filled up somewhere else. Implying I would absolutely remember every customer I had at this gas station, and he wasn't one of them.
This is what we mean by it. It's a very investigative book.
It is.
They
she
do
is
a lot.
driving everywhere. She is calling everyone.
Yep.
There's not a lot of action. There's a lot of research, which is not the most interesting to read about, honestly.
Yeah.
Wound Watch.
This week on Wound Watch, we actually have some things to talk about.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we've had some pretty light Wound Watch segments the last few stories.
But don't worry, Nancy does not remain unharmed for long. She gets almost run over by a sledding child.
She does get hit by a sled.
And she's all bruised up about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good.
And she does say mostly her pride is hurt, but
I think her feelings are hurt, actually, which is hilarious.
And she is also actually injured and has bruising from this.
Ned collapses, obviously. I don't put that in the Wound Watch necessarily, but I'm just worried about him.
Yeah.
I want him to go to a neurologist soon.
Yeah. Playing football's dangerous, man.
It is! And they didn't know about CTE, so they're just like, oh.
Was he even wearing a helmet?
He was. They said, I don't know about it at the time. He put on a helmet for the final kick, but that's after he gets knocked down, so I don't know.
He probably had a helmet on.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good boy, Arnie.
I don't know how good those helmets were, though.
No, it's hard to say.
We also have, is it our first? It can't be our first.
It might be. It is.
Our first Nancy Drew knockout.
Oh, I thought you meant drugging. It's not our first knockout. It's our fourth knockout.
It's her fourth knockout.
It's her fourth knockout. It's her first getting drugged.
Dun, 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 dun.
Which felt really serious and happened 9 pages before the end of the book.
Yes,
They're
I was like, this
we're
is
tracking
almost
everything
over.
down, da, da, da. And then we get a brief POV of Bess and George of like, where's Nancy? And she was drugged and left under an abandoned airport nursery crib. What the heck?
Yeah.
Felt extremely serious, really, all of a sudden. Like, we had pretty much got everything taken
everything
care
else
of.
had been pretty chill.
Final chapter.
But, to be fair, she had been avoiding a lot of these moments.
Mm-hmm. There were a lot of attempts.
Yes, and so it's almost inevitable that one of them was going to be successful.
It was really serious. She got drugged and basically left for dead under a crib. Also, why is there an airport nursery? Do we have airport nurseries now where you just leave the babies?
No.
Like, there's nursing rooms.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
Okay.
I don't think they want you to bring your crib with you anymore.
No. Well, no, the cribs are there.
Oh,
and then
I'm
you just
sorry.
leave the baby there
Of course.
while you fly. Like, what? What is it
It's
for?
probably when you have like a really long, you're in the airport for a few hours, you're like, here, let me put the baby here so I don't have to carry it.
You know what? I like that because I was assuming we were just like, oh man, he's so loud. I'll put him over here. Yeah, this is our fourth knockout of Nancy Drew, but the first drugging, which felt pretty serious. Our running total, we got 4 knockouts, 3 kidnaps.
Crash Course.
Welcome to our new segment, Crash Course. And since it is new and we've already done 8 books, I took some time literally immediately before you got here. You were driving here and I was writing down how Nancy was bad at driving. So that was good. And so I had to figure out what to count and what not to count.
Of
right?
course.
So going back through, I'm discounting close calls because there are a lot of I almost got run off the road or I almost ran over a child or a cult escapee. I'm only counting Nancy's vehicle. So the time when the bad guys drove off a cliff and their car spontaneously combusted does not count for this.
Okay.
This is only Nancy's vehicle that she is driving or in, but I think almost always driving or piloting or what do you call steering a boat? Boating.
Boating.
Yeah, and so I have 2 columns here. I have total car issues and total other vehicles. Currently just boats, but I'm leaving room for there to be like a helicopter accident or something. So here's what I've got. This will be the longest version because we're catching up. So we have Secret of the Old Clock. Her convertible top gets stuck down during the rain, and she has a flat tire that she has to fix. And the boat motor conks out while she's in the middle of like the lake. So she has to fix that. So we got 2 car issues, 1 boat issue. Book 2, Hidden Staircase. Nothing. This is where she and Carson almost get run over and they have to jump in the river about it. And she loses a shoe, I think.
Yes.
But nothing actually happens to their vehicle.
That's
so
good.
We're still at 2 car, 1 boat. Or 1 other, but currently just boat. We have the bungalow mystery. They crash into a log in the boat in like the first chapter. Then the tree almost hits a car in a storm, but it does block the road, so they have to like move the tree out of the way, and it's a whole thing. So I counted that as a car issue. Then also the distributor was uncapped and their rotor was stolen. So that's 2 car issues added plus 1 boat issue, total of 4 car, 2 boat. Lilac Inn, rough time. We got a canoe rammed and capsized. This is by the submarine, I believe.
Yes.
Car forced into a ditch. The car was stolen. Just stolen.
Straight up.
The bad guy's boat that they're in strikes a log, starts sinking, and there's a fire in the engine. I counted that as all 1 issue. And also a rock was thrown at her car and it missed her, but it did dent the car. So we are now at a total of 7 car issues, 4 boat issues. Real rough time in my bucket.
I am loving this new segment.
It's great. It's fantastic. So we're on Shadow Ranch. There was a lot of horsing around. I did not count the horse as a vehicle because they went almost everywhere on a horse, but they still managed to have 2 car problems. And they traveled almost everywhere by horse except for when they were walking. But they still had a radiator overheat and they got stuck in a sandstorm and had to pull over and there was sand everywhere. So now we're up to 9 car issues, 4 boat issues. We're only on book 5. Book 6, pretty fine. They just get stuck in the mud in a ditch. That's fine.
That's fine.
10
Nothing.
car, 4 boat total. Book 7, car got hit by accident. This is our last one, Clue in the Diary.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
We thought the car was getting stolen by Ned, but
It was.
he was just moving, so that does not count. They were tailgated on a rickety bridge, but nothing happened, so I didn't count that. They were like, this is when they were like, he's coming up behind us, and the bridge can't hold both of us, so we're just gonna speed over here, and Bess's teeth are actively chattering, but it's fine. Now, they had to stop in the middle of the road because there was a herd of cattle crossing the highway, as you do. So that one was a big traffic issue. I count that as a problem. So we're up to 12 car problems, still only 4 boat problems, so we're good. And finally, in this book, though she did get a lecture about young girls driving from Mrs. Skeets. Mm-hmm. I thought she was one singular Skeet. She has multiple Skeets. She's mostly fine. The only problem is a bridge cracked and broke as she was driving on it. So we are at a total of 13 car issues, 4 boat issues. We are only on book 8. I'm real worried. This is only Nancy's vehicle.
I know.
There's been so many others where, like, a car in front of her gets in a crash, or a car, again, drives off a cliff and then spontaneously combusts. That's not counted. We're not counting all the near misses. We're not counting, like, there's so many things that could go in this category. I'm trying to be as strict with this as possible. And it's still so much.
So much.
And that's the danger of women driving.
Clearly the lesson to learn from this.
Mm-hmm. She's in boats all the time, too. Like,
she is.
She's canoeing. There was like a boat with a motor. That's not a canoe. I don't know. It's just like a boat. There's the submarine. There's the motorboat. I guess you would call a boat with a motor a motorboat.
Usually.
If only I could have put that together, but I didn't. Yeah, just a rough time vehicular-wise. So this has been Crash Course. Stay tuned for book 9.
Drew's Clues. So we've got a few things we've learned about Nancy from this novel. This is 2 things kind of tied together. I thought Nancy had self-control in chapter 1 when the mail carrier, Ira, is drinking his hot chocolate. Nancy is very excited about this letter from England that she has not. She's like, oh my goodness. She's like bouncing up and down in the chair, but not actually. But she decides, nope, I can be patient and let him finish his drink and it will come up organically. And then it does. And so, but she has her patience. And then kind of connected to that, Carson makes a comment about how Nancy could never wait for anything as a kid. And I was just like, oh, she's grown. Because she is. She's being patient.
She was tactful for once in her life. Actually, a couple times I think she was tactful in this book. She wanted the picture that Ira had of Edgar so she could like show to people like, hey, have you seen this man? And he goes, oh, you think he's handsome? First of all, this guy won't stop talking about how handsome his half-brother is. Weird. She's like, Yes, that is definitely what it is, and not because I think he's a criminal.
Yep,
She
definitely
keeps that
not.
thought inside her brain, and I'm proud of her. I really liked how good she is with kids.
That is literally the next
my
thing I have on my
gosh.
list, too.
Tommy, the little neighbor kid, who we have never heard of. Like, we've heard of her being about to go help with the children's home
Yes.
play and different stuff, but we never seen her with kids, I don't think. Oh, yeah, we've seen her a couple times.
Yes.
With, like, the 2 random girls that she's helped.
Yes.
Honey and the girl from the first book.
Yes.
But this is just a lot of interaction with just Tommy and not, like, his whole family and helping them as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
And Tommy's like, I was playing detective like you, which means that, like, she must talk to him a lot because he knows not only she's my neighbor and she's a girl, but, like, she's a detective. She solves crimes. And I found some clues for you. And then she's like, all right, absolutely. This is great work. And I'm really proud of you. And if you can find more clues, I'll give you a detective's badge that she had, like, got as a gag gift from one of her friends. And she saved and she pinned it on him. And she's like, wow, he found one clue that was so good. Oh, his friend had helped him. Mm-hmm. And so he said, well, I promised him candy if he would help me. So if you got any candy I could give him, that would be great. And she's like, you know what?
Of course.
I got 2 jars of candy. I think you deserve 1 jar. And he gets 1 jar. And he goes, a whole jar. Okay, let's go. It was really cute. She like goes to her like random stuff closet, which I definitely have one of.
Of
where
course.
I have a random stuff
Of
bucket.
course.
And she's like, here's your detective badge. Here's 2 jars of candy. Absolutely. Go for it.
The last thing that I want to add for Drew's clues, because normally we do see Nancy being really polite and being very personable, and one of the moments I really enjoyed was her and the, like, postal inspector.
Yep.
The postal inspector is just being super rude when he shows up.
Even if you didn't know this was the law, you still broke it, and you're a criminal.
Yes, and we kind of referenced that before. Here's the part that I really like. So, first, he's like, there's no excuse for what you've done. She's like, well, I guess I'll have to talk to my father. And he's like, what does that matter? She's like, my dad's a lawyer. And he's like, oh, then yeah. I guess you probably should. And then she says, like, Nancy did not comment on this. She knew that the postal inspector was a very reasonable man. Mm-hmm. Surely he would understand that the case of Ira Nixon was indeed an exception. Mm-hmm. And then she says, like, do you know that he, like, passed out and fainted and he's in the hospital right now? He's like, yeah, I heard that. That doesn't excuse him. And then she just goes, now, if you'll excuse me, and closes the door in his face. When she realizes he is not, in fact, being a reasonable man, she's like, it's okay. I'm just going to literally close the door in your face.
And she should have done this with Mrs. Skeets, but she
should
just
have.
forced her way in. And then later, Mr. Drew is like, cracking up. He's like, my congratulations to you. I'm telling him you turned the case over to your lawyer. Great work. Absolutely. No notes.
Yes.
We love Mr. Drew. She goes to the movies with Hannah. Did you see that?
Yes, she does.
We haven't seen them like hanging out, I don't think. Like they've done cooking together, they've done like dress stuff or fashion stuff together, but they're just like, hey, let's go to the movies, get your mind off stuff. Also, Hannah gets a little salty too. She does a little snack talking after she meets Mrs. Skeets. As she goes, and this is Hannah. Imagine having to live with such a person. I don't blame Sailor Joe for taking long voyages to get away from her.
Right?
Sassy.
That is probably
accurate, but
yes.
Sassy.
And that honestly is probably how the relationship has lasted so long.
Probably. Oh no, we're long distance. It's so sad. I also just really like her and Carson in this book. She's like, when they find the real letter, oh my gosh, there's an inheritance for Nancy Drew. She goes, oh, I wish I was the right Nancy Drew. And her father's eyes twinkled, and he goes, then you wouldn't have the fun of a mystery to solve. And she's like, you're right, that's way better.
Yeah, yes, I'm the better Nancy Drew. You're right.
Yeah, it's great. So cute. Oh, we also meet Aunt Eloise. She's in the first game, the only one you've played.
Oh!
We're in her house. Well, she's not in. We're in her house.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The one, she has, like, the VHS player.
Yes. She is a teacher. She lives in New York, and that is, we have met her, or we have been introduced to her, and she's a phone contact in this book. And here she is.
Yes.
And she is a school teacher here. In the game, her name is Eloise Drew, which anagrams to O, Wise Elder, and that is her password, which is fantastic. Yay, Eloise. I hope we get more of her.
Yes. There were a lot of good, like, callbacks to some previous things. Like, Ned's there, obviously, so from a previous book. Mm-hmm. But they were, like, visiting Redgate Farm at the beginning.
Yeah.
The very first page, they were on their way back from Redgate
You
Farm.
are right, and that's 2 books ago. This isn't even like, ooh, in her last mystery or whatever.
Yeah, so I really like that she doesn't just... Because sometimes it does feel like she just kind of leaves the mysteries behind, and...
We never see, like, the girls from the first book. But
yeah, but she does seem like she keeps up with her connections.
That's awesome. I didn't even catch that.
That's why there's 2 of us. Hopefully we'll catch everything.
I love
the
it.
2 of us.
Sleuthing skills.
We have some new sleuthing skills for you to add to your sleuth toolbox so that you too can be a sleuthing star like Nancy Drew.
What have you got for us?
The first thing that you need is jars of candy in case you need to bribe.
I have a candy drawer in my bedroom.
You always need a candy stash to be able to bribe the children into giving you clues.
And also just loose, dirty shoes that they find that are not related.
Yes, you also have to be accepting of all sorts of clues, whether they are related to the case or not.
You also need to be great at self-defense, and when people just walk into your living room, try to punch you, you have to not only dodge the blow, but also grab the stranger's arm and interrogate her. So
Yes.
those are very important.
Kind of related.
Yes.
You need that sixth sense of when something is about to come crashing down from above. So that you can leap, slash, tip, and fall out of the way.
You're so right. It's super important before you even start your first mystery that you can tell time like a sailor.
Yes.
Did you know what 6 bells meant?
I don't, and I feel like I should, because my father was in the Navy.
You probably should, actually. My father was not in the Navy, so I don't know. I know about, like, 5-11 chili. He was a firefighter. No. So 6 bells... each bell is a half hour past the start of the watch. And so watches are coming usually 4-hour segments. So, yes, 6 bells can mean several different times of the day, but you estimate based on where the sun is. It's before noon, so this must be the 8 to noon watch. So 6 bells means 6 half hours have passed, so it's 11 o'clock.
Of course.
So there's a lot of not only just counting of half hours, but also just kind of knowing how the sun works and how the watches work. And you do need to know that you may not be on a boat in this mystery, but you do need to be able to interpret the salty old sailor telling you his wife's going to be back at 11, but not doing it like a normal person.
Exactly.
Yeah. You also do need to be able to read and interpret, quote, coded messages, which I would argue are not, due to it's just some quotes from Shakespeare that have meaning, but they're not a code. To me, a code is either a word for word or a letter for letter substitution. Is that not?
I guess, I don't know. I haven't
guess
thought too hard about what
there's another message behind what she has written, behind what Nancy Smith Drew leaves a note for the B&B housekeeper, and that's how Nancy regular Drew tracks down Nancy Smith Drew. Does Nancy have a middle name? Why don't I know that?
Sure she does.
But anyway, she reads these Shakespeare quotes because she's an actor, or an acting coach, and also an actor, I think.
Yes, she is.
That's right, because she's suspicious. And she leaves all these Shakespeare quotes, and Mrs. Roderick, who owns the place where she was staying, is like, if that was meant to be a message, I can't make head nor tail of it. And Nancy's like, absolutely, I've got it. She's going to the airport. She's got this new love interest, but she's not sure if that's what she wants, but she thinks it's nice to take a chance. But just in case, if you could show up, that'd be great. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's just, you got to be able to, you have a deep understanding of Shakespeare and iambic pentameter.
And the context of each quote from each play probably helps you interpret it.
Exactly.
You also have to be a great parker. Ned is absolutely certain she's not going to be able to park, and after several skillful twists of the wheel, Nancy maneuvers the car into the vacant spot, and Ned admitted he could not have done a finer job, which from most men is a huge compliment.
Yes, agreed.
My final sleuthing skill, extremely vital. This has come up in several books, but I don't think I've brought it up as a sleuthing skill. I might have. When you see someone's eyes, you have to know, are they a good guy or a bad guy?
It's true.
Last book, we saw Ned's eyes. They were whimsical. They were warm. This is a good guy. Even though we thought he was stealing Nancy's car. She has now seen a photograph of Edgar. His eyes are as cold as steel. She instantly felt he was not a person who could be trusted. Girl, this is a photograph. People photograph badly. It happens.
It's true.
But you have to just know.
Keep collecting these skills, and one day you too will be a sleuth.
Accidentally gay. In this segment, we will discuss the perhaps not written to be queer, but sure comes off as queer segments of this book. I really liked that when they find what objectively seem like culty letters that have been written to Edgar Nixon, they say things like, "Dear Guide, I am so thrilled. It won't be long until I'm in the arms of the man fate has sent me. I'm counting the hours, Martha." They only read these letters because they've been broken open by the sled that also bruised Nancy. And they're noticing that Edgar has got these letters from different women excited about meeting their husband. And they have not put together yet that he's running this scam related to being a Lonely Hearts Club or pretending to be a Lonely Hearts Club. And Bess goes, "What is your suspicion, Nancy? That Edgar Nixon is a bigamist or even a trigamist? He's not doing a crime. He's polyamorous," says Bess. "Please, you're so suspicious of this man. He just has a lot of girls that like him, and you are giving him crap for no reason." Also, just never heard the word trigamist.
Trigamist, I hadn't either.
And polygamist. We don't do trigamist, quadrigamist. We don't need a word for everyone. I promise we're good.
I noticed there was a few of our, they gaily cried and they gaily shouted.
I gaily shout every day of my life.
Yes, but I love George is always wearing tailored clothes.
And a boyish haircut.
A boyish haircut and
Wink.
Tailored clothes.
Love it.
Definitely gives us modern readers just some implications.
Oh, yes. She's a lesbian. That's the implication.
That is the
continuing this line of thought, in keeping with every butch I've ever met, they're trying to call the doctor that's up the street because Ira passed out, and George is like, "I'm just gonna run and get him. It's not hard. Goodbye." And just leaves. "I can do it. You're welcome."
This is taking too long. I'll take it into my own hands.
Literally
Goodbye.
so good. Do you have any more?
That's it for me.
I have a few more.
Go for it.
Ira Nixon, in talking about how attractive his half-brother is, again, so weird. He's like, "Yeah, the girls always liked him and he liked them, but he never got married. Anyway." Is he a confirmed bachelor? Maybe. Oh, I like that Nancy describes wearing a dress as a costume, and I know that just means outfit, but that's also how I feel whenever I wear, like clothes intended for women, because I was raised female and I use they, them pronouns. I am non-binary, and just dress does feel like cross-dressing to me, even though it's not really meant to be. But I like it. This is a costume.
This is a costume.
Oh, and finally, Dave Evans. He's the star of the new play that they put on instead of the play that they've been working on. He's like, "This play was for the spring, but we're going to do this. It's more ready than the one we were working on for this week." Like, what? What's going on with that?
What kind of theater people are you?
Weird choices, but he's extremely funny, and he plays a girl and her twin brother, and he's good at both parts, and it's fantastic, and he is, I assume, great in drag, and so we love that for Dave. I also am wondering, is this just 12th Night?
That's what I was wondering.
They were going to do a Shakespeare play. They weren't ready, so they instead did a comedy where a girl gets mixed up with her twin brother. Not Shakespeare, though.
Not Shakespeare.
Or many other. It doesn't have to be 12th Night. There's many of those, I feel like.
Obviously, As You Like It with Rosalind.
Obviously.
But she's not mistaken for her twin brother.
No.
Just a boy.
Just a boy in general.
Yep.
I just love that for Dave. Good job, Dave.
Miscellaneous mysteries.
In this segment, we discuss any lingering questions or leftover mysteries. What have you got for us, Colleen?
The clerk at the town hall completely breaking the fourth wall. Nancy's describing what's going on. He goes, "Sounds like a mystery thriller." Nancy did not comment and leaves the building.
Just walks out.
Goodbye. What have you got?
A lot of my miscellaneous mysteries I kind of already covered in other segments. So talking about how, we're still talking about Redgate Farm in chapter 1. Why does Nancy share so many details of her mysteries? And then
seriously
get confused about why.
How could anyone know this information that I've told 20 people? It's so hard to be me.
It is.
One of my other lingering mysteries is, why does Mrs. Roderick, who owns the B&B thing, why doesn't she know what notes are? "Oh, yes," the woman says, "but it didn't say anything. In fact, it wasn't really a note, just a lot of words scribbled on a piece of paper." That's a note. That's what a note is, honey. Do you want a banknote? What do you want? I do need to issue a correction. I had said, I think in the last episode, or maybe in Redgate Farm, that I was like, wow, we've never had not looking over Nancy's shoulder perspective. That's not true. I was flipping back through for the car stuff. I'm like, oh, here's a whole chapter where they're like, Nancy's gone. Anyway, I was so wrong.
That's okay.
Yep. It's not often, but it does happen. Bess comments, "Miss Drew," talking about Miss Smith Drew, "I'm sure is too nice a person to be tied to a dishonest husband." Bess, are there some people that are not? Are there some people that you're fine with getting married to a dishonest husband? What's the category? What's the
Some people get to, but not
Miss Smith Drew.
Miss Smith Drew.
She's great. And then we end. My other question is, why do we end on Nancy Smith Drew just quoting Shakespeare? Not and then we'd see Nancy in the next mystery. Nancy Smith Drew says, "You dear girls, I can never thank you enough." Then she began to quote from Shakespeare. "But love is blind, and lovers cannot see the pretty follies that themselves commit." Weird choice. None of the other ones end on a quote. Also, they have done it so weird. Those are 2 lines. They have made it into 4 lines, not for lack of space. They centered it. But love is blind, and lovers cannot see The pretty follies that themselves commit. There was room for that to be the regular way.
Just feel like there are so many better Shakespeare quotes.
Mm-hmm.
Especially to end something.
Yeah, this is a really weird one. I guess this is about her. She's like, oh, I didn't realize that I was seeing a guy who's not good or something.
Yeah.
Gumshoe Game Show! Welcome to the Gumshoe Game Show! What are you playing for? Because Nancy did not get a gift.
Oh, goodness.
In this.
I would like to try to win. Gosh.
Looking for a camel hair coat? Does that suit your fancy?
I do.
Do you really want? I don't think it's that good a price.
No, I don't either, though.
A jar of candy, perhaps?
Ooh, a jar of candy or a letter.
A letter.
A letter that's been run over by a sled.
That's for somebody with your name that's not you from England?
Yes, that sounds amazing. Goodness. Yeah, there weren't a lot of great,
You could win a whole chicken wire room just for yourself. A loose curtain that's not attached to anything for some reason.
Goodness.
There weren't a lot of items in this.
No.
Like a little detective badge, but I don't know. I think you can do better.
I think I could do better, too. Honestly, let's just get some... I just want some Shakespeare quotes.
Okay. You can get a book of Shakespeare?
Yeah, I want a paper that doesn't have any notes on it. Just Shakespeare words.
It's not a note. It's just words on a paper.
It's just words on a paper, but they happen to be Shakespeare.
Incredible. Shakespeare
Okay,
note. Got it. Beautiful. Well, along those lines, this is a Shakespeare-themed quiz.
Oh, gosh. I either am going to do super well or I'm going to be so disappointed in myself.
Do you want to tell the audience your history with Shakespeare real quick?
So I have been a huge Shakespeare fan since about 8th grade. Yep.
Nerd.
I've, at this point, read most, but not all of Shakespeare, complete works of Shakespeare.
Really?
Yes, not all of them. I never read, Measure for Measure.
I was going to wonder if the histories were ones you would skip out of, but you love histories
not
in
all
general.
the history. I haven't read Pericles or, it's basically his lesser known and just in general aren't as good plays. I know the summary.
That's why they're lesser known.
Yeah, exactly. I have been to Shakespeare's Globe Theater 6 times in my life, seeing...
How many times did you burn it down?
0.
That's what she says.
So far.
What plays did you see there?
What?
I only know about 2 of them.
Oh, if I can, I'm going to try and remember them in order. Othello.
Great.
A Midsummer Night's Dream. Romeo and Juliet.
Excellent.
Macbeth.
Nice.
As You Like It, Much Ado About Nothing, and Titus Andronicus. So actually I've been 7 times.
All right.
Or 2 of those were seen in one trip. So I saw Much Ado About Nothing and As You Like It during the same, week-long visit to England. I was the president of the Shakespeare Club at my college, my senior year of college, and I participated in many of our plays in a variety of different capacities. And I have taught a 1-week Shakespeare course for 5th, 6th, and 7th graders.
And they love it.
I love me some Shakespeare. So I hope I'm able to answer these questions.
Some of them might be too easy for you, in fact, but I thought it would be rude to leave these questions out. Yeah.
And also, I'm sometimes, it could be a random gap in my knowledge.
That's fair.
Or my brain broke. We'll see.
That is also fair. Question 1. The first 2 lines of Nancy Smith Drew's coded message, I have put in heavy quotes because I don't believe it's a code, state, "My mind is troubled like a fountain stirred, and I myself see not the bottom of it." What play is this from?
Oh, see, I didn't ever.
I was hoping you had not looked it up. I will give you options.
I didn't.
We have A, Hamlet, B, Troilus and Cressida, C, the Scottish play, or D, the Merry Wives of Windsor.
Can you repeat the quote?
Absolutely. "My mind is troubled like a fountain stirred, and I myself see not the bottom of it." What would you say this quote means?
I mean, it mostly just means your brain's all crazy and
you need some Claritin Clear.
Yeah, you need something to help you see more clearly.
That does not narrow it down, I feel like.
It does not.
I feel like that happens to most people in most of these.
Yes. Okay. I feel like while it fits Hamlet, I don't think it is Hamlet.
Okay.
Because I feel like there are better quotes from Hamlet. And I feel like I know Hamlet fairly well. Mm-hmm. I worked on Merry Wives of Windsor as a sound designer. And I don't remember, but this is a line that could go in anything.
Right?
I've never read Troilus and Cressida.
Okay.
I am going to go with the Scottish play. I'm going to go with Mackers.
I am so sorry. It is Troilus and Cressida.
See, and it's the one I have. I have no experience with Troilus and Cressida.
I don't even know. I could not tell you the plot.
Yep. It's a tragedy. That's all I really know. But that's one of the lesser known ones that I don't know as well. Oof. Off to a rough start. It's okay.
Question 2. The fourth line of her coded message is, "We that are true lovers run into strange capers." What show is that from?
No, this is all going to be
No,
so
I have
tough.
bonuses, though.
Okay.
Is this from A, Romeo and Juliet, B, Taming of the Shrew, C, Winter's Tale, or D, As You Like It?
And I should know. Okay, Taming of the Shrew is the one I have the least experience with. I've only seen it performed once. Oh, it's my least favorite of the ones.
I like the way I've seen it done. It can be done in a really weird anti-feminist way.
It tends to fall that way, unfortunately. Okay. Can I see the quote again?
Yes.
You
can see it, but you can't read it because I wrote it.
True lovers.
We that are true lovers run into strange capers.
I think it's As You Like It.
That is correct.
I bet it's Touchstone who says that.
That sounds right. Probably. I don't know, As You Like It. I also was the president of the Shakespeare Club in college, but it was like 4 people and the professor, and he was delightful. My favorite thing about the professor joining us has got to be him pointing out that in Macbeth, they reference actually 2 ice cream stores in one line here. They say, "Toad the under cold stone, days and nights have 31, 31 being Baskin Robbins." Just need to make sure you take that note. I'm like, sir, you can't say this to me. As a bonus, we talked about strange capers. Where do capers the food come from? Would you like choices?
Yes. Is this question 3 or is this just
This is a bonus to the strange capers. A, they are part of a pig. B, they grow on a bush. C, they grow on a tree known as the Flandus tree. Or D, they grow on a plant known as the Flindus rose.
I think they grow on trees.
I'm so
Are they
sorry.
the
They
rose?
call on a bush. They're on a bush known as the Flindus rose. So B or D. I'm so sorry. No bonus point.
Sad.
Question 3. The fifth line. Prosperity's the very bond of love. What show is that from? A, Othello. B, Romeo and Juliet. C, The Winter's Tale. Or D, The Taming of the Shrew.
Prosperity's the very bond of love.
They're all so vague.
I know. That's why I didn't recognize them. And I didn't have time to look any of them up. What's the first word?
Prosperity.
Prosperity's the very bond of...
Walk me through your thought process.
It sounds familiar. Which
would rule out Taming.
Taming of the Shrew for me. Of those 3, I have worked on Winter's Tale the most.
You have.
Because
Does that sound familiar?
It does sound familiar, but
Okay.
I don't know if it's the Winter's Tale.
Okay.
And I feel like if I get it wrong, I'll disappoint all my Winter's Tale cast and crewmates.
And they're definitely listening.
They will be listening, probably.
I don't think they'll be disappointed, as it has been a decade since we were in college.
It's been almost exactly a decade since I did the Winter's Tale.
Oh my God.
It's been a long time.
Go with your gut.
I'm going to say the Winter's Tale.
Correct.
Yes.
Bonus.
Oh, thank goodness.
Who says it? A.
Oh.
That's why I was covering it, because that would give it away. Is it Perdita? Is it Pongo? Is it Camillo? Or Florizel? I don't know how.
Florizel. Okay, Pongo's not a character, so it's not me.
Well, Pongo and Perdita go together.
And it's Perdita. I know.
Oh my God.
Oh, no.
I'm so sorry.
No, I had an argument with our director about how to pronounce it. I thought it should be Perdita because
Like, they're gonna win Dalmatians?
Well, and they're Italian. It all takes
Oh, yeah.
place in Italy, in Sicily, and that's how you would pronounce it in Italy. And they're like, no, Perdita is what works with the iambic pentameter, so it has to be Perdita. And I was like, well, okay, fine.
You're right, yeah.
I will go with the Shakespeare expert here.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Prosperity is the very bond of love. I'm trying to remember which of. Okay, I don't think it's Perdita. It's Camillo or Florizel, I think.
What are they like? What are Camillo? I don't know these people. I don't
Well,
know.
I'm mostly just thinking, I'm like, it was either Will who said it or it was John who said it. I'm going to go with Florizel.
It was Camillo. I'm
Shit.
so sorry.
Sorry, Pondo.
Right now, you've got 2 points, though. You're doing well. All right, number 4. Line 8 in the in the coded message. Better 3 hours too soon than a minute too late. Is that from A, The Merry Wives of Windsor, B, Richard II, C, Richard III, or D, Twelfth Night?
Okay, I'm going to guess it's one of the Richards.
Better 3 hours too soon than a minute too late. As I was looking these up to see what they were from, it was like, and what this means is, it's better to do things early and not do them late.
Oh, will it?
Thank you.
I'm going to go with Richard III.
It's Merry Wives. I'm so sorry.
Shoot.
As a bonus question, speaking of hours and minutes, what year did daylight savings start in the U.S.? Is it A, 1900, B, 1918, C, 1950, or D, 2022?
I'm going to go with 1918.
Correct.
Yeah,
Very good.
I think it was during World War I.
Yes, and it started at 1916 in Germany, actually, apparently.
So how many points do I have?
You have 3 points, and there's a final question and a bonus.
Okay.
And also a bonus.
Okay.
So you can get up to 6 total if you need to, if you can. I don't know. I'm just saying stuff. Question 5, the final bit of the note. It is the stars above us that govern our conditions. Would that be from A, Julius Caesar, B, King Lear, C, Antony and Cleopatra, or D, Romeo and Juliet?
I think this is Julius Caesar. It's not?
It's not. Tell me why you're thinking of it. I know.
I thought that maybe it was one of the other quartos, but it's because the fault, dear Brutus, is not in ourselves, but in our stars.
And tell me why you know that, and then you will have answered the bonus question.
John Green's The Fault in Our Stars.
Correct, yes. Okay, so you've got the point for that. That was the bonus. And that's why I threw Julius Caesar in there, and I'm so sorry. It's actually from King Lear. From King Lear, can you extrapolate what that is about?
So it
is the stars above us that govern our conditions.
It's been a while since I've worked on King Lear. That was probably 2011.
Great.
Last time I've interacted with King Lear. So, long time ago. But I'm going to guess that it is one of the times that King Lear is making many more excuses as to why all of the things that have gone wrong couldn't possibly be his own fault. It's just bad fate.
Bad stars.
Destiny. Bad
stars. Not good. Not today. No good. I will give it to you. Specifically, it's also about why his daughters are so different.
Well, yeah.
They're like born under different stars. It's not because I treat them so different from each other.
Couldn't be.
Very good. Very good. You have got 5 out of 5. You have won the Shakespeare quote note. Yeah. I'm very proud of you. That's going in our museum.
Yes.
Yay. Sorry, that was a little trickier than I thought. I wasn't sure. I was like, she's either going to know every single one without me even saying it.
I know.
Or it's because they're so vague. It's like, wow, love is hard.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't know about fate.
Yeah.
I don't know. That could be literally any play.
Exactly. There are, of course, always like standout ones. And I know those. But I feel like I know like the most popular ones at this point. I need to brush up on my Shakespeare.
Thank you for joining us this week. Next book is the Sign of the Twisted Candles? Is that right?
Yes, Sign of the Twisted Candles.
All I remember about that is A, Twisted Candles on the front, B, Old Man on the front.
Yeah, it's like a creepy looking cover.
Kind of a creepy
from
cover.
The original run.
All right.
Thank you so much for joining us on Me and You and Nancy Drew.
This podcast is lovingly dedicated to the memory of my wonderful mother, Shar, world's best mom, and the woman who got me hooked on sassy female detective stories. I also want to thank my brother Ben for creating most of our sound and music cues for this podcast. Thanks, Ben.
You can check out our website, meandyouandnancydrew.com, for show transcripts, links to our social media, and our Patreon, where we'll post any images that we described during the podcast. Those will be visible to anyone without a paywall, so that we're not describing nebulous images that you can't see at home. But if you'd like to become a patron, there are various perks there, including outtakes or things that got cut for time, stickers, and cross-stitch patterns to create your own Drewseum at home, and more.
Thank you, Megan, for editing the podcast, doing a lot of research about podcast creation, and adding a few additional sound cues as needed.
Thank you, Colleen, for also editing the podcast, for transcribing it, and for helping create our logo.
Thank you to our partners for all the support and love, and especially for lending us their microphones that they bought for a completely different purpose, but said we could borrow once in a while.
Thank you to libraries everywhere for giving access to Nancy Drew books, and all the other books that we mentioned today, and just media of all kinds to people everywhere for free.
And finally, thank you, of course, to Carolyn Keene for independently writing each of the Nancy Drew books from 1930 to modern day. We couldn't do this without you and your 613 individual novels.
And don't forget the moral of this episode.
I'm certainly not going to get my hopes up of being a millionaire.